Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am BorderWise and welcome to the From the Depths basic helicopter tutorial, in which we talk about how to build a basic helicopter. So what do I mean by helicopter? Well, much like the thing we're looking at right here, a helicopter in From the Depths, as opposed to, say, a plane or an airship or something like that, is just a thing that has one big, or not necessarily one, but a big daddy blade, or daddy blades, to control altitude, and considering that From the Depths physics doesn't quite work the same way as real-life physics, it has a tail rotor that is used to steer. So if I do this, the thing turns like that, and it's really nice. And so yeah, we're just gonna go over a few things you need to do. This video shouldn't be so long. Future me, if this video is too long, shame on you. So for most of this, we're not actually going to be looking at the Locusta, which is this helicopter right here, which I am very fond of because I think it looks awesome. But yeah, so we're just going to go through the steps of building a helicopter. And step one, I actually find helicopters a little bit easier to build than a lot of things, simply because they're the kind of thing in From the Depths you make for cool factor rather than anything else, because the whole design premise of this thing is actually pretty flawed. You've got a big daddy blade on top that's really vulnerable to getting shot at, and you've got an exposed tail rotor back here. I think if you go through all the faction craft and all that stuff, you don't find very many big helicopters, simply because it's kind of pointless to make it like a big, durable, super powerful thing, and then you mount something quite delicate right on top of it, which just easily gets blown up and the thing falls straight out of the sky. Because, just so you know, in comparison to the rest of this thing's hull, so here we've got alloy blocks, which we're in beta test still, by the way. This alloy block over here is over 1,000 health and has about 35 armor. These little daddy blades up here, they have almost nothing. They have 75 health and 5 armor, which means they get absolutely minced by pretty much anything that comes their way. So helicopters are, much like real life, honestly, they're generally not super durable. They're not like flying tanks. That's not to say that there aren't, there aren't helicopters in real life that aren't more durable than other ones, but that's beside the point. So, with that out of the way, why would you ever build a helicopter? Well, the answer to that is having, especially with the recent changes to daddy blades, having a big daddy blade on top, just one big one that controls altitude, is a essentially free engine power. Like, you do not require engine power at all if you want to make something fly with just a big daddy blade, because, like, look at this thing. It's like, each one of these blades is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11, and it's got the equivalent of 89.9 blade pieces due to their placement, because it's got these long blades like that, which means that helicopters now more than ever are pretty darn power efficient. This thing, as you can see, like, it has virtually no power requirements at all. What power requirements it does have is just to move back and forth, and just a little bit of PID, roll and pitch control, which is mostly just to make the thing look good rather than actually make it more functional. So yeah, that's a huge advantage. And it's like, also, they're just generally fun. Like, I had a real good time making this thing. I also had a real good time making the other little tester helicopters that I made just for this video. So, we're going to go over the steps, and we're going to look at my crappy helicopter just to show you what I mean. Here it is. And this is a far more rudimentary one. So it's less sophisticated than the Locusta. It's just, it's basically a box with slopes on forward and back. And it does not appear to be working. That's really interesting. No, never mind, it is working. That's cool. That is cool and dandy. So, what is this thing? First off, to make a helicopter, what you do is you make a box with everything you want in it. So, if we're going to go here, we're going to go through all this stuff. So it's got power. In this case, it is RTG powered electric engine. We've got ammunition and material storage, which is basically just back here. You've got an AI, which is a really ballsy move, like right next to the ammo. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. It's got the weapon controls, and it's got the weapons. All that stuff. and it's got the propulsion and all that stuff. You build all that first. All of that first. It's got some pitch control, some little air elevators, which is just a nice, cheap, again, power-free way to do things. And it's actually got a little bit too much engine power for what it actually needs, but that's beside the point. And once you've built all that to your satisfaction, pretty much, you can add the turning rotor, which is all the way back here. If you go here, you'll see it's way out on the extremity. It's just a, what is going on here? That is weird, pardon me, I'm just going to fix this. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's consistent now. Sorry about that. So anyway, this is just the thing mounted sideways. If you go to spin right control, it's already set to turner, so that's very nice. And this thing requires absolutely no power. This top Deadly Blade has a tiny bit of power. Just uses 1. Which is still very little. It uses 10 power at most, which is absolutely nothing. And can easily be, like, run off a single, like, battery block and electric engine and a single 2-meter long RTG. So it's, like, really, really power efficient. This and planes is, like, super, super handy. So, yeah, like, once you've done all the stuff that actually adds weight to this, in building this thing, I broke the rules a little bit by adding the missiles last, but yeah, we'll ignore the past me's terrible judgment. That's when you add the turning rotor, once you know where the center of mass is. And by the way, I should mention that I have goofed slightly with this one, because the center of mass is here. It's in between 2 blocks. You preferably want, with, well, any kind of flying thing really, you want the main form of lift to be right in line with the center of mass. So I might be able to do that by doing something like this. Yeah, perfect, okay. So you see now it is, well, it's not rock steady because it doesn't really have as good PID pitch control as the Locusta does. But yeah, you want that main rotor directly above the center of mass, because that'll means that that basically means that the thing will pop up in altitude and won't wobble around too much. And also, if you get that exactly right, you won't need roll control pretty much at all. You'll notice that this thing doesn't have any form of roll control at all. It doesn't really need it. It does wobble around quite a lot, but like, it really doesn't need roll control that much. It's pretty steady, or at least by the standards of my designs. It is rolling a bit, like a roll control couldn't hurt that much. But yeah, overall, not bad. Not bad at all. And, yeah, so you only really need to add roll control, like, if you really need it, if the thing's rolling around too much. And on that note, I would like to point out, just talking about my favorite way to make a helicopter, it's actually a mix of ACBs and PIDs. Because it is entirely possible and reasonable to have this main rotor controlled by PIDs, or even just by the AI propulsion. In my particular case, I have not done that. You'll notice it's not actually set to anything right here. It's purely ACB controlled. And the reason for that is that, well, let's see if I can demonstrate that right now. So if I do to get rid of this ACB, and I get rid of this ACB. So let's go here, and let's go to PID, altitude above terminal waves, control propulsion vertical, fake point, 200, and set this to pusher. We're probably going to get, wait for it. So it's just real basic PID, not tweaked, and as soon as we get above the correct altitude, let's see here. Yeah, let's see. Is it gonna do it? Not quite. Okay, that works beautifully. That's annoying. That really wasn't working so well when I tried it last. Oh well. Well, that's just my point. This works absolutely fine. You don't get that lovely bouncy effect though. So, in case you're wondering, like, the more your the more your helicopter bounces up and down, the better it is at evading fire. And I should probably have this thing shoot at a marauder just while we're here, just for giggles. because then we can show off how this thing moves. Helicopters are actually kind of versatile in their movement pattern, like, actually everything is, so never mind. This particular one is a broadsider, set to broadside right. If you're gonna have it do attack runs like a plane, or move in a broadside like this one's doing, you only need to stick engines on the back. But if you want a front-siding helicopter, like the Locusta I showed off earlier, totally check out my Ashes of the Empire campaign if you haven't already. Anyway, so if you want a front-sider, you do... Is this the one? No, that's not the one. That's not the one at all. Let's have the one I actually want. There we go. So if you want a front-sider, you do something along the lines of this. This is almost the same helicopter, but not quite. You just, there's two things you can do. You can do what I've done here and just stick a propulsion on the front, because that works just fine. Or you can hide a Daddy Blade, like, inside the thing itself. I have, in this case, just stuck jet engine on the front, and this is really ugly. I know. It looks, the thing looks like, it actually looks like a fly with a nose. But yeah, so, that's good for front siding. And yeah, it's basically it, really. This particular one is, yeah. On a side note, like, if you want to make a helicopter gunship kind of thing, yeah, this, I don't know, simple weapons aren't in a great place at the moment in the meta, because, they have lousy armor piercing. So if you want to make a helicopter gunship with emphasis on the gun, you either need a lot of gun, like this one does. This has at least 3 gun, which I find is, like, doing okay against the Marauder, which, let's face it, is made entirely out of wood. Superior combat vessel indeed. But now let us build a helicopter from scratch, simply so I can show you guys how to do it. So, start off by building absolutely everything we want. So there's the AI. We're just gonna do this, so there. But the local weapon controllers just... Actually, you know what we can do? We can do this, that, and then... Nah, we'll do this. We'll do that. We'll do this, we'll do that. Okay, so there. Target prioritization, because this one, I want to have both guns and missiles. So there, and set all to 0. That. And let's go 2, 3. This one's gonna be a little bit bigger, I reckon. Or recognize does than the ones I've just shown you. And that's not correct. We want... Let's have an intervehicle transmitter. And we're going to stick the engines over here. Actually, let's go here. We probably won't need many RTGs, but 1, 2, there we go. We're going to be very, very silly. And let's see here, we're gonna have like that. And also, cannot emphasize enough, you don't really want to stick AI, like all these vital components together. Best to stick the ammo storage like quite a well away, because this does about 8,000 damage when it gets destroyed. The whole point of this thing is that it's supposed to be small and hard to hit and nice and compact. Savvy? Alright, so we've got all that, we've got all the stuff we actually want, so over here we're gonna add some alloy. So whenever I make a flying thing, I prefer alloy. Some people kind of sneer at alloy because they say it's like, whatever, like metal's better, but I like using alloy because it is super light, and in this particular case, the whole point of this is that this thing should be cheap to get into the air. So let's see, we've got all that. Let's just add a little bit of extra length just to do that, and let's have this thing be quite blunt because I tend to make things pointy. Let's be like this. I like that. I like that a lot. I does. And let's not gonna go ham on the armor because flying things shouldn't be too ham. I'm leaving a little bit of space inside just in case something I want to add cool things to it. Shouldn't be too much, I don't think. Right, this thing is definitely going to be way more blunt than my usual helicopters. Just occurred to me that with the Let's Builds I do, I usually do the commentary like in post now. And now here I am doing live commentary while building a thing. Well done me. Alright, so we're here, and we're gonna make the back quite a bit more pointy, because that looks cool. And here is probably... Okay, I can work with this. Okay, let's go here. This thing is already a lot bigger than the ones I just showed you. E4. Fill. Yeah, that's a fill. Fill the helicopter. This thing is gonna look a lot like a flying submarine. No, I'm not gonna paint it yellow. Shut up. And there we go. And let's go. Let's do this. Not gonna look very helicopter-like at all, this one. It's gonna look different. Wait a minute. Nope, no. Let's do this. Get rid of that. And do this. And we're thinking ahead. We're preemptively going to have... this is where the propulsion is going to be. All centered, by the way, usual story, propulsion centered around the center of drag. I think we're going to have something like this. Dial this way the heck down. And we're going to have our turning thingy. Where is the... There it is. It's right in front of my face. Doesn't matter which way you point this, by the way. And that's set to turn already. That's lovely. Lovely. And 1, 2, and 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Beautiful. And what else? We're going to do this, simply because that looks cool. Actually, no, we're not. We are going to preemptively stick some pitch control in here, nicely lined up. There we go. That's not, strictly speaking, that's not a very sexy form of pitch control, but it will do for now. Alright, so now we have all that. Now we want weapons, and we've got our freaking... Here we go. Alright, so missile controller. We're going to do... What the hell is that? Okay. Missile controller. Gonna do like this. So some of that. We're going to stick identify friendly foe. And we're going to stick a staggered fire here, 0.5. We're going to adjust this quickly. Good. And now we're going to have just a whole mess of these, so... Alright, so rails are great. Rails are awesome. Rails are very nice. I'm going to sneeze. No! I hate it when that happens. Alright. Okay. Right, so here's this thing. Just gonna tweak these missiles a little bit. 2 fins on the front for added maneuverability. I'm gonna stick an APN on it because I like APN. APN's fun. And let's see here. Signal processor, because that's very nice. Probably also a safety fuse just so this thing doesn't fly into its own missiles and kill itself. And then a whole bunch of just explosive warheads because that's fun. There we go. Thrust duration is that. One more of these. And yeah, a regulator actually would be a good idea. So this thing flies a long time. And up the thrust a little bit. There we go. Didn't need to press that button, not sure I did. Save, place over here, and load, and fix that, because that's a bug. Why did I do that? I just do that as a reflex. Now we go over here, and we're going to stick in this thing, and get rid of these wood blocks, because we don't need them. So, AI, local controller, so that. We're gonna have this thing be a front-sider, so that means is probably okay. This is actually too much. This is why I'm not hugely fond of like building on camera, because I change my mind too much. Like, I am a changey mind person. And I will not apologize, but I'm sorry. Anyway. Go, there we go, there we go. Yeah, that's looking good. You might be wondering why I've stuck this thing in the middle like that. I tend to find that if you do something like, let's turn that off. If you do something like, pretend this is on the back. If you do something along the lines of like, this, so you have it just, asymmetrical, that seems to do wacky things with the steering, and, sticking the tail rotor on a tail, like, what real helicopters do, is a little bit weird, and it just occurred to me, can I do this instead? Nope, that'll look weird, so I'm not going to do that. So this is going to be a front-sider, like the thing we just showed. This. It's going to have weird eyeballs. For the, like, best, like, the reason I'm sticking it in like this is because that aligns it with the center of drag a little bit better. And just, I don't know, like it tends to work slightly better like that. Here, and we're gonna give it a snoot. We're gonna boop that snoot. Place a rangefinder tracker right here. Not the best place for it, really. Hello, we do not have a wireless transmitter. Why do we not have one of those? That's bad. Okay, let's stick that here. How many of you were yelling at me, like, hang on, we can just do this. No need for this. No need for that either. This is perhaps not the best example of how to build a helicopter. But it is super compact, and how's the... Okay, it's already more expensive than everything. So, we don't have a lot of room for stuff. Actually, we have plenty of room for stuff. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Since this thing is likely to be shooting other things, we're going to do something like this. Really risky to expose the AI like this, but... do something like this, and something like this. Cool. So that and that, and way over here, we're now going to do something along the lines of this. We could have remote-guided missiles, actually. Wouldn't that be fun? Crud. There we go, and there we go. Cool. Alright, we are getting somewhere. Right, we need a cockpit with where to put our, like, ourselves. I wasn't about to say anything else but the cockpit. That would be very, very rude. Alright, so where is it? There it is. Control seat. Place that with the good chair. And let's... Cool. And you know what? While we're here, we're going to do something along the lines of this, which is we're going to put in a real cockpit. We're going to make this thing look pretty. This is a... So forward. Not a great cockpit. And up, down scaling. Let's set that to 3. Set that backwards even more. And positioning just down a little bit. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's not very attractive, but it will do for now. And we'll stick the gun in. Elevation of the turret. The gun is mainly... actually, let's do something a little bit different. Let us just stick a simple weapon in there for giggles. Okay, where's it? This one! 20 millimeters. Simple weapons actually, no, I can't do that. I cannot do that. It has to be on a turret. Alas, alackaday. It has to be on a turret, because that way the radar right behind it can see through it. I am not afraid to use cheese to my advantage. Except when I am. I have sensibilities. And which is the best one? This is the most fun, so we'll use that. Then we'll go here. That looks tremendously ugly, so we're going to change that a little bit. We'll do this instead. That should work. There we go. We're going to plug this quickly. That's the wrong thing. That is still the wrong thing. And what's this? There we go. Armored snoot. Looks very good. Looks very good, I say. Alrighty, where is the center of mass? Alright, so we've immediately got a problem here because we've got this sexy cockpit to worry about. We've also got another problem that we need good pitch control. So, way back here, I'm going to stick all the control things, which hopefully means that this is not what is going to get shot at the most. Control, we're going to have a pitch PID here, just not a particularly fancy one, just pitch, and propulsion pitch, and I'm going to set this to my bog standard. So let's see. Alright, so that's not actually doing anything right now, because this thing isn't moving. Alright, and roll we hopefully should not need. Did I set this right? No, I did not. No, I did not. Here we go. There we go. We've got all that jazz. Where's our center of mass? It is directly over the AI, which is not the best idea in the world. We're gonna have a wee hole there, and then let's see. Hopefully that'll do. Okay, I should mention right now that you kind of want... There's two things. Firstly, you want the main Daddy Blade, the main rotor rather, directly over the center of mass. You also want it as close to the center of mass as possible, as in touching it, because if it's too high, that kind of screws with the drag a little bit. But we're gonna chance it and see how well we do. Actually, no, we're not gonna chance it that much. This might look a little strange. And we can actually lower that cockpit. It's not actually, it's just gonna look funny if we don't do that. Up, right, up, down, scaling 2.5. How does that look? That looks absolutely fine, so we'll go with that. Mimics are just a part of my life now. Back to air, back to the spinner. And let's just see. Pusher, right. Let's just see. I'm going to go back here. And we're going to set this to CO waves. And propulsion vertical, fake point 200. 5 and 5. This was a mistake to do so early, because it helps to stick all the blades on this thing after, like, before you actually get the PIDs and control surfaces rolling, because now it's harder to tell when it's actually working. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's make it 10. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 10 on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That thing is flying. And is the pitch control working? Yes, yes it is. You might need a little bit more pitch control. Right, this thing's already flying, and it's actually flying quite nicely. This is a weird looking helicopter I've just made. Alright, let's see here. Alrighty, let's add in the behavior. It's gonna go point at. Combat distance 1,000 meters. Yeah, that'll do nicely. Altitude 200 meters. Yes, yes, yes. Maneuver. We're gonna go with hover. And that screws with the PIDs, by the way. So you do want to go back here and make absolutely sure that this stuff is working as well. Okay. Okay, good, good, good. Usually, for a front-sider, you can leave this all as it is. Usually. Okay, so this is lovely. This is lovely jubbly. We're going to save. Always save the thing. Test chopper. 4. Let's do that. Yes. And then we are going to spawn in. I actually quite like the way this thing looks. It's like, okay, let's face it. It's not a particularly sexy-looking helicopter, but yeah, it does look like one, kind of. The bearing rangefinder, by the way, you can kind of hide within a hull using portholes. Spawn in a Marauder, see if this thing works. And there we go. Okay, let us change this. Change the altitude a little bit. So the guns can actually do their job. That was a little close. Let's see. Okay, good, good, good. Why are you not firing? There's always something. Interesting. So if I do this now... Let's see, what's happening here? That is bizarre. I want more Daka, come on. That's hilarious. What on earth is going on? Anyway, we've at least got a functional helicopter. Let's see if a different weapon works with this. Oh my word. I think this is a bug, guys. Anyway, could be worse. We at very least have a gunship that actually has a fair amount of gun. Is the Marauder about to... No, it isn't. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Well, there we have a helicopter. So, I'm gonna figure out this particular thing in my own time. I have absolutely no idea why this is doing what it's doing right now. Because it shouldn't. If I do this, what happens? Nope, nothing. Alright. Alright, we're just gonna have to live with it. So, with that out of the way, we have a helicopter. Just gonna turn that off so it doesn't ruin the mood. Right, so, yeah. Hopefully you, Oh yeah, before we do that, we can very easily change this into a broadsider. Wow. New rule of thumb, don't try and convert your frontsider into a broadsider on live camera. Oh, dearie, dearie, dearie me. Well, on that note, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Support me on Patreon if you like, it really helps. Thank you to all my current Patreon supporters. And I will see you next time in From the Depths. And take care of your helicopters, people. And farewell.